This is the Galaxy S20 Ultra after 4 months. This phone definitely had a rocky start coming out the gates with the starting price of $1,400 with camera focusing issues, and also the main camera featured a 100x zoom that fell flat and didn't live up to the hype at all. It's been 4 months. How is the Galaxy S20 Ultra now after some updates and a price slash? Kevin the Tech Ninja, and let's talk about it. As of this video, you can find a brand new Galaxy S20 Ultra with 128GB of storage for $1,200, which is a much easier pill to swallow than coming out the gates at $1,400. For reference, the iPhone 11 Pro Max is $1,100 for 64GB of storage, or $1,249 for 256GB of storage. Samsung does have aggressive trade-in offers. Of course, on paper, the S20 is a modern day flagship phone with great specs, and obviously it still runs great. The processor has a lot to do with that, but also the software is really good too. TouchWiz has been gone for so many years, and Samsung's One UI is really good. It's right up there as one of my favorite OSs for Android. But also when you tack on that 120Hz refresh rate, everything on this phone feels super smooth. Even some pretty heavy apps, and they're no match for this phone. So performance is still gonna be an A+, and I don't need to say much more about it. So day-to-day in hand, this phone is large and it feels very top heavy due to that thick camera module. When you add on a case like the grip from Dbrand, the phone still is bigger and becomes a chunkier brick. Yes, most phones that are large feels like large bricks, but the thickness of the camera is really pushing the limits for me for phone thickness. I mean, look at this. If you can get past the thickness and the sheer height of the phone, you're in for a great treat with this beautiful Quad HD display. The colors are fantastic out of the box, but you can even get a more realistic appearance if you adjust the colors in the color profile settings. Now the resolution is Quad HD if you are not doing the high refresh rate. If you have 120Hz going, then you'll be at 1080p, which is okay. For me, I rather take 120Hz over 1080p any day, and this screen still looks good in 1080p. I wish there was a way for it to switch over automatically when you're watching content that is QHD+. Then scale it back down when you're doing something that doesn't need it. I know some Sony phones in the past actually did that. This phone also has Wi-Fi 6 capability, which makes this phone future-proof in that area. The Wi-Fi 6 is still pretty new. It's not available on most routers, but new devices are starting to carry it, like the iPhone 11, so the S20 lineup has it as well. And this gives you faster Wi-Fi connectivity if you're using a Wi-Fi 6 router. Now, speaking of connectivity, it does have 5G connection, although 5G is not in my area to test. Bummer. So let's take a break here and talk about the sponsor for this video. If you're like me, you love tech, sometimes you end up with just too much of it, things you're not using anymore, so why not trade it in and make some money? It's very easy with Trade More. And the best thing about it to me is that you don't have to wait until it's sold, you get an offer instantly. Let me show you how it works. Go to trademore.com, select sell a device, now pick on your phone. Let's do an iPhone 11. Fill out the rest of the information and bam, you have an offer. Now, if you want to buy a phone, it's the same thing. Select what phone you want to buy and buy it. Each device goes through an inspection, so you have nothing to worry about. Hit my link down below to head over to trademore.com and start making some money or find your perfect device. And once again, a big thanks to Trade More for sponsoring this portion of the video. And now, back to the phone. Battery life is still great, and each update seems to make it better and better. In my last testing, I got up to 8 hours of screen on time on 1080p with the high refresh rate, and the brightness was around 60 to 80% depending on location. Now let's move over to camera. This phone's biggest features was all about the camera. Everything you heard was camera, camera, camera. Now you've seen this camera module already, and I don't need to dive into specs too much. I will toss it on the screen for you though. I did find that the camera's updates is a lot better than when the phone initially launched. However, the autofocusing issues are still there, although less apparent. They do seem to happen most when you're in less than ideal lighting. Outside, the S20 Ultra still produces amazing images and I would say okay details, but fantastic colors. And the reason I say okay details, when you start to zoom in on certain things like blades of grass, it starts to look a little painted over and a little bit blurred together, but that's only when going to small details. But once you're in situations where lighting may not be so ideal, say a restaurant or say like your living room at, dusk and there's only a couple lights on, well, focusing may be an issue. This even happens on videos too. There's also this 100x space zoom that Samsung was pushing really hard. They even put it on the back of the camera module. And I will be honest, the technology is impressive in how it works, but the image looks really bad. I know it's 100x and I want to give them kudos for trying. I don't want to stop innovation, but don't hang your hat on a feature because it's just not good still. I still find that the 10x zoom to be much better and it's really impressive. Take a look at this shot right here. You can barely see the sign and then we punch in and bam, the sign is visible and it looks great. So they should really talk about 10x zoom and then 100 zoom as a fun beta project. I don't know what they were thinking on that one. I found the front-facing camera to be okay still. The Pixel does a better job with it, and I think it's on par with iPhone. So Samsung still does an okay job with the front-facing camera. I do find that it still brightens and lightens my skin a little bit, and I don't want to go into the cultural thing about that, but it still bothers me that some manufacturers want to make your skin brighter. Even if you turn off beauty mode, it's still doing some touch-ups to your skin, and I really don't like that too much. But all in all, the front-facing camera is solid. You get some pretty decent selfies, and then you have the bokeh mode, and you have live focus, and you combine all those things, and you get a really solid front-facing camera experience. All in all, I do find the S20 Plus to be Samsung's flagship phone to get. It's hundreds cheaper, easier to hold, and has some of the same features minus the 100x zoom, which isn't great in the first place. So if that's your phone, make sure you check that out. I actually do have a review of that too. I'm gonna link it down below. But anyways, guys, that's all I have for you. Once again, my name is Kevin the Tech Ninja. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Hit like, hit subscribe, and leave a comment. Talk to you folks later.